Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Gomi, and this current project that I'm going to be showing off in this video was completed just a little while ago, and it is my CVM, which is just the shortened way for the signature to say calculating vending machine, and it uses a whole lot of logic, obviously, and what it does is it accepts your inputs and then calculates how much you're spending based on those inputs, and then also dispenses an item based on what you pressed. Now, it is a little unfinished, technically speaking, because there aren't enough items to dispense for as much as you can press the buttons. Like, technically speaking, 5K, I could press all the way up to 1.495 million of 5K, right? But that's just not really a realistic thing to expect, so it's not going... I never really expected this build to have the full vending machine capability, just like my last build, but I did decide that each piece would actually be able to dispense, unlike my last vending machine build. Specifically vending machine, not my last build, but my last build like this. And also my last build like this was a single time purchase. This is obviously calculating, and then you send the person money, and my old vending machine, you just put a piece of goldwood in, and that was kind of cheap for some of the gifts. But for this one, let's say that I press the button for 5K for a delay. It's going to, albeit very slowly, start to dispense my delay. And if you look at that, you can tell that it's moving very, very slowly. But I do want to look over some of the more logical components of this build. So, when you press any one of these buttons, it goes into the same inputs as these buttons, right? And over here is this one. And so, you have a signal lock, so your button will not be allowed to be pressed given that the highest value of that current thing is pressed, because you have 5K, 15K, 30K, 50K, and 100K, and each one of those correlates to a different item that you could buy. And the reason I have it set up like that is because it was the easiest method I could think of, and I also didn't want to redo the build if I found something else to do, so I just went with whatever I found first. And what it does is it takes your input, and then it will use your input to then set one of the memories online. So it's a counter machine. It counts here, and also for 15K, 30K, and etc. And then once it reaches the maximum of this, like 5K's maximum is 15K, if 15K does not have the second one on, then your 5K, your maximum 5K, your 15K over here, will turn into a 15K and turn off 5K. And then, if you have two 15K, obviously it goes into 30K, but there has to be a lot of 30K because it doesn't go naturally, well, very immediately into 50K or 100K. So you have 5 30Ks, and then if you have 150K, 5 times 30,000, you have a 50K and a 100K. But these are also correctly designed to where it won't try to change it over if it's already at its maximum. Any moment now, that'll be done, right? But then the counter comes over to a lot of different processing units for the displays. So obviously we've got these lines over here that are going towards this for the display for 100K. And then obviously 1 million is the very simplest because it's only on in a few situations with 100K at given configurations. And then all of this right here actually is the input for the 10K area, and right here is all the input for the 5K area, which is obviously very small. So you've got very small for 1 million, very small for 5K, pretty small for 100K, and then pretty massive for 10k. But it does in fact work, and as we can see, it is dispensing our item, albeit, yeah, no, very slowly, but not my problem. It'll get down there eventually. I just kind of want to keep going over what's going on with the logic here, and I glitched it into the wall so that each of these correlates to one of the display units on the other side of the wall. So, if we go into here, we did press the 5k for the item, so we have 5k, and the rest of this is 0, so we know that whoever bought something has to pay us 5,000. And that's really all that there is to it to this build. It was a very quick project. It took me around 30 hours. It didn't really take a whole lot of logical innovation. A lot of these systems I already had in place. So, I don't want to say that it was anything super crazy, and, you know, obviously it's super slow because it's logic. You don't really see physics put into logic very often because of things like this. But it works as I intended it to, and I also developed a new signature for when I'm making my own projects. So I've got my beautiful signature right here that will be used on all of my projects going forwards. So I will have to name things in a way that is kind of fair to use, because it could be a bad naming convention. But I'm very happy with the signature, I'm very happy with the build, and I just kind of wanted to showcase what I was doing a little bit. I might do a more technical video of how these things work, show off the actual circuits themselves, but for now I just wanted to post about the build, show off what I'd done, show off that, you know, it actually works, and just talk about it for a second. So if there are any questions about it, of course you can always check my Discord or message me on Discord. My Discord will be in the description. You can always comment on the video, I reply there. You can email me. My email is connected to my YouTube account, so you can find it, I believe it's in the description of my channel. But that's about it. If you guys have any questions, you can always reach out and ask me. If you want help with your own logic projects, you can of course join my server. We've got a number of people in there that are willing to help. And that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time when I ever get to make a video again. Thanks so much for watching.